Hey dear students, welcome back to e-learning platform of GS College of Commerce, Wardha. I'm Assistant Professor Rajeshwari Sharma here, and this lecture is for the BCom Sem 2 for the subject Business Economics. In this lecture, we are going to start with our Unit 2, which consists of perfect and imperfect competition market. Okay, so here under this chapter, we are going to see the different types of perfect and imperfect competition market. In our first unit, when we have discussed the chapter classification of market, so we have seen the different criterias on the basis of which the market is categorized into different parts. But there we have seen a very important part, that is division of market or the bifurcation of market on the basis of competition. Thereby I have told you that on the basis of competition, majorly there are two types of market: perfect competition market and imperfect competition market. Okay, so when we talk about the perfect competition market, so it purely consists of a perfectly competitive market. And when we talk about the imperfect competition market, so it consists of monopolistic competition market, oligopoly market and monopoly market. But again, when we talk about the monopoly, so it is also an extreme form of market like the perfectly competitive one. Okay, so on the basis of perfect competition, we have one market, that is perfectly competitive market. And when we talk about the imperfect competition market, so we have different markets like monopolistic competition market, oligopoly market and the monopoly market. When we talk about the monopoly market, so it is not exactly the imperfect competition market, but still it's a part of it. Okay, and this monopoly and perfectly competitive market are the extreme situations. Extreme situation means they are nearly a myth. Okay, if you are going to find the exact example of this market, so you won't find it in reality. But there are many markets, there are many examples which exist in the real economy, which possess many of the features of this extreme forms of market. So those markets just resemble to this extreme forms, but they are not the exact example. Okay, so in today's lecture, we are going to start with very first topic of our second unit, that is perfect competition market and price and output determination under the perfectly competitive market. So today we are going to deal with the meaning and the concept of perfectly competitive market and the features of the perfect competition market. Okay, so these features can also be called as the properties of the perfectly competitive market or the characteristics of the perfectly competitive market. So in examination, it can be asked by any way. So don't get confused in it. Okay. So let's begin. What is the meaning of perfect competition market? So here it is given that a perfectly competitive market is one in which number of buyers and sellers are very large. Means here from this it can be understood that it is a market whereby there are large number of buyers and sellers. Okay, all engaged in buying and selling homogeneous product. Means all the sellers are engaged in selling the homogeneous product and all the buyers are engaged in buying those homogeneous product in the market without any artificial restrictions and possessing perfect knowledge of market at the time. So without any artificial restrictions means this word states that from this we can understood that there is no artificial restrictions in this market. Like there are no legal barrier or market barrier to enter in this market. There is free entry and free exit without any artificial restrictions. And buyers and sellers both are having perfect knowledge of a market at a time. So it's a market whereby you will find large number of buyers and sellers who are engaged in buying and selling the homogeneous products, and anybody can enter in this market without any artificial restrictions, and it is assumed that all the buyers and sellers who are in the market, they are having perfect knowledge of that market. Okay, so these are the here we have seen the meaning of the perfectly competitive market. Now, as I've told you, this perfect competition market is actually a myth. If you are going to find the exact example of this perfect competition market in the reality, so you're not going to get it. But there are many markets, there are many examples where you're going to find most of the feature of this market. Okay, so one of such example is vegetable market. In vegetable market, it's an example which resembles to this perfect competition market, even though it is not the exact example, but it resembles. Okay, because in vegetable markets you can find many features of this perfect competition market. So I give you an example to understand this. If you go to a vegetable market to buy the potatoes, okay, so what will you find? You will find there are going to be many buyers like you for the potatoes who are demanding the different quantities of potatoes. There are many sellers in the market who are selling potatoes, okay, and these potatoes are homogeneous in nature, means they are same in color, shape, price, etc. Okay, like if you are going, if you cannot actually determine from which farm the different potatoes has been brought. If the different potatoes of different farms are kept together, so you cannot actually bifurcate it like this potato belongs to A farm, this potato belongs to B farm. So in this way, those potatoes are exactly same. They are homogeneous. Okay, and there are many buyers who are ready to buy those potato at 20 rupees per kg, and there are many sellers who are selling those potatoes at 20 rupees per kg. Okay, so in vegetable market you are finding all this conditions. So this vegetable market is one of the example of this perfectly competitive market. Okay, it resembles to the example of the perfectly competitive market because it possesses many features of the perfectly competitive market. Now we are going to move towards the features of perfect competition market in order to understand it in a better way, in order to understand this in a detail. So first feature over here is large number of buyers and sellers. Okay, so in perfectly competitive market you will find the existence of large number of buyers and sellers, and as there are large number of buyers, so individual demand from a individual buyer will constitute a very small part of a market demand, total market demand. And if you are going to see it from the supply side, so supply of an individual seller will consist of very small part of a total supply in the market. Why? Because there are large number of buyers and sellers in the market. So this way, in perfectly competitive market, you are going to find the large number of buyers and sellers. After that, another example of another feature of this market is homogeneous product. Now, homogeneous product means what? Homogeneous product means identical products. Okay, they are perfect substitute of each other. Those are known as homogeneous product. Okay, they are same in size, color, shape, price, etc. Okay, so they are termed as homogeneous product. Like I have given you the example of potatoes. If you will go to the market for buying the potatoes, so of course you will find all the potatoes same, right? You cannot make any differentiation between those potatoes. You cannot say that you cannot recognize which potatoes has been brought to the market from which farm. You cannot make any differentiation. So therefore it is said that in the perfectly competitive market, the products are exactly homogeneous in nature. They are identical. Okay, they are the perfect substitute for each other, and that is why the buyers are not so concerned about to whom they are selling their buyers are not so concerned about from whom they are buying their product, and in the same way the sellers are also not so concerned about to whom they are selling their products. Okay, then another feature of this market is free entry and free exit. So this free entry and free exit feature refers to this. Anybody can enter into this perfectly competitive market without any restrictions or any barrier. You will not find any kind of legal or market restrictions in entering this market. Like for entering into the vegetable market, you won't need to have any kind of licensing. Okay, you don't need to have any kind of copyright or patent. So this way there is no legal or market restrictions in case of the perfectly competitive market. Like you don't have to spend too much amount on advertisement in order to capture the market share. Okay, so when we talk about the perfectly competitive market, so it also contains the feature of free entry and the free exit. If somebody finds that there is the profitable situations in the market, so they can enter into it, and if they are finding that there is not so much profitable situations, or they are making the losses in the market, so they can exit from the market. So this way, free entry and exit is another feature of perfectly competitive market. The next one is perfect knowledge of market conditions. So in perfect competition market, it is assumed that both buyers and sellers are having perfect knowledge of market conditions. Now market condition refers to the prevailing price of the commodity, the quantity of the commodity which is being sold for the particular price, then the quality of the product, etc. Okay, so here in perfectly competitive market, it is assumed that both buyers and sellers are having perfect knowledge of a market at a time. They are very well aware about the quantity to be sold at a particular price, the prices of the product, the quality of the product, etc. in the market. The another feature is very low transaction cost. So when we talk about the transaction cost, so it is very low in the perfectly competitive market, because buyers and sellers do not need to spend too much money and time to finding each other. They don't need to they don't have to spend so much money in entering a particular transaction. It's very easy for them to find each other and enter into the transaction. Like when you go to the vegetable market, you won't have to make so much efforts in finding the sellers, and the sellers who are selling their product in the vegetable market, they don't have to make so much efforts in finding the buyers for their products. Okay, so there are very low transaction costs. You don't have to actually invest so much money in finding the buyers and sellers, and you don't have to spend so much time in entering into the transaction. So there is very low transaction cost. The another feature is firms are price takers. I would like to give an example of this, and then we will understand this feature. Suppose you have gone to the vegetable market for buying the vegetable. You want to buy the potatoes again. It's my favorite. You want to buy the potatoes again, and all these sellers in the vegetable market are selling their potatoes for 20 rupees per kg. Okay, 20 rupees per kg. So 20 rupees per kg, and there is one seller who is selling his potatoes for 30 rupees per kg. So are you going to buy the potatoes from the seller who is selling it for 30 rupees per kg? Of course not. Why? Because you are getting the same product at 20 rupees per kg. So why are you going to pay more prices for the same product when it is available for the lower prices? So that is why, this is the reason the firms cannot decide the product for price for their product in the market, because there are many sellers, there are many alternatives which are available to the buyers in the market. And if they are going to increase the price of their product in the market, so what will happen? So of course they will lose their customer base. Okay, and if they are going to sell below a particular price, so they will have to incur the loss, as their cost would not be recovered. So therefore the firms are the price takers over here. The price is actually determined by the forces of demand and supply in the market. Okay, so in perfectly competitive market, firms are price takers, and up to certain extent consumers are also price taker, because the price is being determined by the industry, by the forces of demand and supply in the market. Then another one is absence of selling cost. Now selling cost involves the cost of advertisement, cost of sales promotion, cost of after sales services. All this forms the part of selling cost. But when your product are homogeneous in nature, okay, there are large number of buyers and sellers who are selling their product in the market, and the products are homogeneous in nature. So in such case, you don't have to do any kind advertisement for selling your product. Have you ever seen the advertisement by a vegetable seller to sell their product in the market? Have you ever seen that vegetable seller is giving any kind of discount which the others are not giving? Of course not. So when the products are homogeneous in nature and all the buyers and sellers are selling same kind of product in the market, so nobody needs to spend any kind of advertisement cost or sales promotion cost for their product in the market, because the products are homogeneous and the number of buyers and sellers are large. So that is why you will not find any selling cost in the perfect competition, a perfectly competitive market or the perfect competition market. So these are the features that we have discussed today, and today we have also dealt with the meaning and the concept of perfectly competitive market. I hope it's clear to you. In next lecture, we are going to deal with the price and output determination under the perfectly competitive market. So for understanding those concepts in a better way, you need to go through these lectures and the previous lectures as well. So you are requested to keep going through the YouTube lectures for your better understanding, and stay safe, stay home, and always stay hungry for the knowledge. Thank you so much.